Topic 5, time and real life graphs. Units of time. So hopefully by now we are fully aware that the units of time are seconds, minutes, hours, and so on. So there's 60 seconds in a minute, there's 60 minutes in an hour, there's 24 hours in a day. We generally consider that there's 365 days in a year. Of course, in a leap year, there are 366 days. So hopefully we're fully aware of those. To work out the number of seconds in an hour, we would multiply 60 by 60. To work out the seconds in a day, we'd multiply the number of seconds in an hour by 24 hours and build it up like that. So examples, how many seconds are there in 2 hours and 40 minutes? So what we should know is that in 2 hours, there are 120 minutes. In 2 hours 40, there's going to be 160 minutes. And because there are 60 seconds in a minute, if we multiply 60 and 160, that will tell us the number of seconds, which works out to be 9,600 seconds. How many minutes in a week? Well, there are 7 days in a week. There are 24 hours in a day. So if we multiply 24 by 7, that will tell us the number of hours in a week. And that's 168 hours in a week. There are 60 minutes in an hour. So if we multiply 60 by the number of hours in the week, so by 168, that will work out the number of minutes in a week, which is 10,080 minutes per week. How many hours are there in a leap year? So there's 366 days in a leap year. There's 24 hours in a day. So we multiply 24 and 366. We'll get 8,784 hours per leap year. For 12 and 24 hour time, again, hopefully this is something we're familiar with, but the day starts at midnight, and that would be 00 hours. And then every minute after that, it goes 00, 01, 02, and so on. And then at 1 a.m., so 1 a.m., that would equal 01 hours and 0. So there's no change until midday. So midday is 12 hours, and that's 12 p.m. So if we were 1 hour after noon, that would be 1 hour on top of our 12 hours, which would be 13 hours, or 1 p.m. If we were 2 hours after noon, it would then be 14 hours, or 2 p.m. So change 1:38 a.m. into 24 hours. So 1 hour 38 after midnight. So midnight is 00. Another 1 hour and 38 minutes is going to be 01 hours 38. 5:15 p.m. So noon would be 12 hours after midnight. We've another 5 hours and 15 minutes to go. So if we add 5 hours, that gets us to 17 hours. And we've still 15 minutes. So it's 17:15. Change the following into 12-hour format. What we have is we've 0, 5 hours and 16 minutes. So that's 5 hours and 16 minutes after midnight. So that's going to be 5:16 in the morning. So that's 5:16 a.m. 23 hours and 55 is 23 hours and 55 minutes after midnight. Another way to think about that then would be it would be 5 minutes before midnight. So that's going to be 11:55 p.m. Or 23 hours 55. So 12 noon would be 12 hours. To get to 23:55, we have to add on 11 hours and 55 minutes. So then that's going to be 11 hours and 55 minutes after noon, which is going to be 11:55 p.m. So the time between events, from the start of an event, we find the number of minutes until the next full hour. then count the number of hours and minutes until the end of the event. Add this to the number of minutes required, and if it exceeds 60, then we've gone into another hour. So if we take 60 from that and add another hour, that'll get us there. So in this car journey, if it starts at 10:37 and ends at 1:53, so we've 23 minutes will take us up to 11 o'clock. Then from 11 to 1:30, so we've 11 to 12, 12 to 1, that's 2 hours, and then another 53. If we add 2 hours, 53, and 23 minutes, we get, there's a 6, 7, 2 hours and 76 minutes. Now 76 minutes is obviously more than an hour, so we need to change that into 1 hour and 16 minutes. Therefore we have a total of 3 hours and 16 minutes. Timetables. So we often get asked them as when do we use something that is actually useful in life, and timetables, understanding train timetables or bus timetables, is obviously a really practical application of it. And what we have are the departure times at each point are listed throughout the day. So what we have here is a timetable for the Springfield. And Bart has ordered some new catapults online. He wants to collect them. He needs to get to Springfield Mall to collect his catapults before lunchtime. What time does he get the bus from the Quickie Mart? So what he's doing is he's at the Quickie Mart and he wants to go to Springfield Mall. And then he's going to have to use the highlighted part because the bus is going from the elementary school to Moe's Tavern, to the nuclear power plant, to the Quickie Mart, to the mall, and then into Shelbyville. So to get before lunchtime, the only times that he can arrive at Springfield Mall would be 9:55 or 2:05. So therefore he has to get the 9:40 bus to arrive at 9:55. Number 2, Bart needs to take the catapults to Millhouse. Millhouse will meet Bart outside Moe's Tavern around noon. What time does Bart need to get a bus from Springfield to get to Moe's Tavern as close to noon? So there's 2 options here. I suppose it depends how quick he can pick up the catapult, but he's going to use the bottom half of the timetable because he's at the Springfield Mall and he wants to get to Moe's Tavern. He arrived at Springfield Mall at 9:55, so we have to look at either 10:05, 11:05 or 11:40. And if he chooses either of those to get to Moe's Tavern, it'll be 11:10, 12:10 or 12:45. And 10:05 might be a bit tight. 11:05 would give him plenty of time to pick up the catapults and also would get him as close to noon as possible. So we should get the 11:05 bus to Moe's Tavern. And then Bart and Millhouse want to use their catapults at the elementary school during lunch. What bus must they get from Moe's Tavern to arrive at the school at lunchtime at 1 o'clock? So there are a couple of options to get from Moe's Tavern to the elementary school, one of which is the 12:10 bus that he was already on. The other one would be 12:45 or 2:30. Now the 12:30 bus doesn't go to the elementary stop. It seems to just go from the power plant to Moe's Tavern. So what Millhouse could do is he could jump on the bus and meet Bart on the bus, and then they could go to elementary school for 12:30. Or if Bart has decided to jump off the bus to speak to Millhouse, then he would have to get the 12:45 bus, which would get him at the school at 1 o'clock. So that would be the 12:45 bus.